Hello, welcome to Laser Cut Wooden Picture Frames. My name is Ken from the Digital Services Department. To complete this tutorial, you will need to download a free software called Inkscape, which we will use to create our designs. After your design is complete, please email the file to digitalservices@balibrary.org. Also, feel free to email me with any questions you have regarding this tutorial. Here is an example of what the completed picture frame will look like. The frames are made from Baltic birch plywood and will hold a 6" by 4" photograph. The frames will come unassembled. All you will need to assemble the frame is glue. I recommend using either wood glue or any kind of tacky glue used for arts and crafts projects. I will show you exactly how to assemble the pieces at the end of the tutorial. But first, let's focus on the designs of our picture frames. Let's go ahead and download the Inkscape software. In a browser, type inkscape.org and then go to this download button and click current version. If you have a Mac computer, go ahead and click Mac and the download will start instantly. Then just follow all the rest of the prompts to finish the installation. If you have a Windows computer, then click on this Windows link. And most likely you will want to download the 64-bit version here. So just click it and then follow all the rest of the prompts to complete the download. If you have an older computer, then you may need to download the 32-bit version. Next, let's download our template for this project. Go to balibrary.org and scroll down the page. Under upcoming events, you may see laser cut wooden picture frames. If you see that, then just go ahead and click it. If you don't see it on this list, then click register and view all programs. And then over here in the keyword search, just type picture and then scroll down to the date and then click on the event there. And then scroll down the page, and then the first link here is the link to the template. Go ahead and click on that link, and it will bring you to Google Drive, and then click this download button in the upper left corner. And now the template is saved to your computer's downloads folder. Next, open up Inkscape and choose New Document. This is what the page will look like. It's just a blank document. So now let's go ahead and import the template that we just downloaded. Go up to File, and then click Open. And then go to your Downloads folder and find the wooden picture frame template, and then click Open. Okay, so you might not be able to see the whole template when it imports here. You can tap the minus key to zoom out and the plus key to zoom in. And also you can hit the 5 key on the keyboard. That will give us an automatic zoom so we can see the whole template. So on the left side, this is the picture frame. This is the area that we'll be focusing on. The piece next to it, this is the back of the picture frame. And then this other 3-sided piece, this is the middle part of the picture frame that we'll put in between the front and the back. I will show you how to assemble this later. And then on the bottom, these are the 2 pieces for the stand for the picture frame. So for our design, we are just going to focus on the picture frame part. We're not going to put a design on the back or in the middle because no one will see this when they're looking at the picture. They'll only see the picture frame. So let's go ahead and zoom in on the picture frame so we could get a better view of just that. Hit the plus key on the keyboard. And then you can also scroll over using the bottom scroll bar, and you can scroll up and down using the side scroll bar over here. Okay, so now I have the picture frame in view. I'm going to show you 2 main ways to add a design to your picture frame. The first is by going to a website called monogramframes.com. They have a lot of nice pre-made designs. And then I'm also going to do an image search on the computer and then import that into the design as well. Before I show you those methods, I just want to point out quickly that there is a simple text tool built into Inkscape over here. If you go to the letter A, this is the text tool. So click it and then come over here and click on the frame. And then you can type any text that you want. Then you can scroll through the text by clicking on this upper left box and hit the up and down arrows to scroll through all the different fonts. And then you can also change the font size over here where it says 30. You can either type in a font size or just use this drop-down box to increase the font size. And then finally, how you can align your text is click on this first button here where it says Select and Transform Objects. And then open up the Align and Distribute menu. If you don't see that, then come up to Object and click Align and Distribute, and then the menu will open over here. Next, make sure that your text is selected, and then click the Shift key and click on this bottom box, so the outside box highlights like that. Then in the Align and Distribute menu, we want to align it relative to the last selected object. So choose Last Selected. And then I want to align it vertical. So we can click Center on Vertical Axis, and then that will align it there. And so now it's aligned on the vertical axis, but I want to get it centered between these two lines. So all I'm going to do is click on the box again and then just use the down arrow to move it down. I'm just going to center this by eye, kind of like that. So that's how you add text inside of Inkscape. But next I'm going to show you some more interesting ways that you can add text using Monogram frames. Go to monogramframes.com. This is a great website for adding pre-made designs, and you can just easily type a name or initials to personalize it. So come over to the right hand side and you can scroll through a bunch of different designs, but if you click on the top where it says select your category, this is where you can narrow down your search. I'm going to choose animals and pets. I'm making a picture frame for my friend's dog, so I'm going to choose this bone logo here to add that, and I'm going to type the dog's name up here, and then on the left hand side I can choose a different font. You can scroll through, preview them, and click. Also, you can adjust the font size with this slider at the bottom. So once you get a design that you like, now it's time to download it. Scroll down the page and then click this button, Download Your Files. And then scroll down the page. Ignore this little box where it says Start Download. That's not actually where you want to click. If you scroll down, next you will have to check this box saying that you've read and accepted the terms, and then click SVG. Now your file will download and it will be saved in your downloads folder. Alright, so now we are back in Inkscape. Let's go to File, and we'll go to Import this time. And then in your downloads folder, choose your monogram frame design and click Open, and then click OK. Great, so now our design is here. So I'm going to put the name on the bottom of the frame here. If you need to resize your frame, hold down the Control key on the keyboard and then go ahead and click the arrow in the corner, and you can click and drag to resize the object. If you don't hold down Control, then you'll notice your object will become warped. Also, if you need to undo anything, come up to the Edit menu and click Undo. Also, if you want to rotate a design, click twice on the object, and then again hold down Control, and then click in the corner to rotate like that. When you're designing your frame, feel free to use all four sides. Just keep in mind that this part will be cut out, so we'll only see everything in the border of the frame along here. So if you want, you can put things on the side, you can put on top, be creative and do whatever you want, but just keep in mind that anything that is inside of this line will not show up on your frame. So again, now that it's the size I want, I can go back to the Align and Distribute menu, and then I'm going to hold down the Shift key again and click on this outside box here, and then I'm going to choose Center on Vertical Axis. And then you can move it up and down with the arrow keys to get it exactly where you want it within the frame. Also, just be careful because you can actually move any of these pieces around on their own, and we don't want that. So if you accidentally move one of the red lines, then just come up to Edit and then hit Undo Move, and then it should go back to where it was. We want the lines to be exactly where they were so that they will cut out properly. Okay, so now that my frame is added, what I want to do is add some dog paw prints up the sides here. So now I'm just going to do a Google search for that image. Okay, so I just did a Google image search for dog paw silhouette. It really helps to add the word silhouette or clip art to your search. Basically, we want to get a black and white image. That is going to give us the best results. If you do have a color image, then we can still import it, but the result might not be that good. So I strongly recommend you just getting a black and white image to add to your frame. Okay, so I found an image that I like. I'm going to go ahead and right-click on it and click Save Image As. And then save it somewhere where you can find it. I'm going to click on Downloads and click Save. Now let's go back into Inkscape and go to File and Import. And then choose the picture we just downloaded. Click Open and OK. Alright, so this is our picture. What we need to do next is convert this JPEG into a vector format. So how we do that is select the image and then go up to Path and then click Trace Bitmap. And next, click Update over here, and then you should see a preview of your image over here. If your image is not showing up, then try to adjust the brightness threshold. You might want to increase the brightness threshold to make the image appear darker. You can make the image a little bit lighter if you click on the minus. So I like the way this looks, but you might need to play around with your image. Next, I'm going to click Apply. And so it did the conversion, but you won't notice that right away. You will have to click and drag the top image off of the other image. So now we see we have two paws. So which one do we want to delete? Well, go ahead and click and drag the image over here, and I like to hover it over the edge so we see this line passing through the paw over here. You'll notice if I click and drag this one over here, there's a solid background and there's no line passing through. So this is the one we want to delete. So just to review, the one we want to keep is the one that you can see the line through. That means that is the vector format image. So now it's just a matter of resizing the image or rotating it to adjust your frame. So I will hold down Control and then click and drag this arrow to make the paw a little bit smaller here. And I think I'm going to make it even smaller, like that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste the same image to make it appear like dog footprints on the sides of the frame here. So I'm going to do Command C, since I'm on a Mac. If you're on a PC, do Control C, and then either Command or Control V to paste it there. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to keep pasting it like that. And so, again, you can take as much time on this as you want. But, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side right here. Yeah, so again, I can get more precise with my placement if I want, but just for the purposes of this tutorial, that's all I'm going to do with my design. Okay, so there's one more step before we save it, and it's very important. Go ahead and tap the 5 key on the keyboard so we zoom out and see the whole design here. Okay, so we want to adjust the stroke style for these lines. We want to basically tell the laser cutter that these lines are going to be cut through the wood. And so in order to do that, we have to select all of the lines, all the red lines that we're seeing. So go ahead and choose Control and A on Windows or Command A on a Mac. Then everything should highlight. Next, come up to Object and click Fill and Stroke. And then in the Fill and Stroke menu, choose Stroke Style. Next, where it says percentage, choose inches. And then in width, over here, type 0.001 and then hit the Enter or Return key on your keyboard. And then go ahead and click somewhere outside of these highlighted lines here. And so you may notice that the lines disappeared. If you zoom in really closely, you will see that the lines are still there, but they become a lot more faint. So the reason why I had the lines thicker is so we could see it for the purposes of this tutorial. But again, we just want to make sure that the fill and stroke here, stroke style, the lines are 0.001 inches thick. So if you set it to 0.001, it's going to make it really easy on me to just start editing your design so I don't have to open all of your designs up and edit them myself. So yeah, after the stroke style has been edited and your file looks approximately like this, then now it's time to save. Go up to File, and then choose Save As. And please go ahead and save it as your first name and your last name .pdf. So to choose a PDF file, come down here to this drop-down menu and choose PDF. It's kind of toward the bottom. And then choose a folder where you can find it later. And then just click Save. And click OK. So then the next step is to open up an email to digitalservices@balibrary.org and then attach this PDF file to that email, and then I will be able to cut it out for you. Okay, so that completes the design portion of this tutorial. Next, I'm going to show you the steps to assemble the picture frame. Okay, so my frame is cut, and now it's time for assembly. You are going to get 5 pieces of wood: the frame, the back side of the frame, the middle part where the photo will sit, and then these 2 pieces are the stand. These are the easiest to assemble. It does not require glue. Just feed the 2 open slots into each other like so. Kind of like that, and then you'll see the stand will stand up perfectly, no glue required. Next, we are going to glue the back side and the middle piece together. And I am using a Lean's Original Tacky Glue. Again, you can use any craft glue, just something simple, doesn't have to be super strong. And then I'm going to put glue on the left side, the bottom, and the right side. Okay, so this is about how much glue I'm putting. It does not have to be a lot. Next, you're just going to take this piece and place it on top of the back, like so. And then just make sure the sides line up and press together, and then wait for this piece to dry before gluing the frame on top of here. Okay, so now we have the back and middle piece glued together. The last step is to glue the frame on top, like so. And so we're again just going to put glue in the same place on the left side, the bottom, and the right side. And then simply place the frame on top of the other two pieces and then hold them together. Make sure they line up on the sides, and then wait for this to dry. Okay, so once all the pieces are dry, next it's time to put our picture inside the frame. Once the pieces are glued together, you will notice there is a little bit of a gap there. This is where we're going to place our photo. I made this design super easy so you can very easily replace photos in this frame. We'll get our stand over here and then put the frame on the stand just like that. And I have my photo here, and I'm simply just going to drop the photo into the frame like so. And you might need to align it a little bit with your hands like that, but it is super easy to do. So that concludes this tutorial for the laser cut wooden picture frames. I hope you enjoyed this, and again, let me know if you have any questions with this process. Thanks.